Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this section, what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at drawing or controlling the direction. So you can see it's all directed in an automatic fashion and it's not what we need or what we want. So you can control it. What we're going to do is take a look at that. So we'll keep um, the partition, let it be there. We will need that. Now you can see the second or third button is this yellow one is for direction. So what you can do is you can draw curves. So if I switch to draw direction and you see there is nothing, it's not you are not able to see anything because we'll have to do an enter. You'll have to enter the tool. So you can see you will get a guide geometry. Now on top of this you can draw direction. Now the same thing here, you can see there's a tab available now. So you can do a mirror curve from here. So you can, it's not the global controls. So this is separate, this mirror scales. So for now, I'll just switch it or let it be there. I'm not painting anything. So this is just drawing curves. So this is separate than this one. So for the vector curves or the direction curves, you'll have to manually, or you'll have to switch on mirror curves in the up vector tab. So let me draw some direction here. Now, one other thing is there is an automated direction. So if you go back to your default mode and you can see your up vector, and it's a default setup which automatically adds this direction. So this is what we want to edit. So what we'll do is go back to mm, paint or draw vectors, and you have a tab here, and you can also determine the flow direction. So right now the default settings is based on our z-axis. The character is facing z-axis, so that's why we have to have the character in the z-axis. So these default values will work, otherwise we'll have to change all these. Anyway, and there's an up vector blur iteration. I will show you what that does. So right now we'll go and paint some or draw some curves here. So I want this thing to curve in like this. You can see it's drawing on the side because mirror in curve is on. And we don't want too many curves, just to give a rough direction. Maybe these curves go up a little bit. This way, this way. You can change it at any time. And one other thing is, let's say you don't want one of these curves, you can position your mouse and make sure you are not doing that on the mirror side, but on the drawing side, you can right click and you can delete it. So that's available in the menu. So you can, let's say if you don't want this, you can always delete it off. So it will delete that off. So you can also delete it from here, but that is not very convenient. So always right click and delete. And take some time. You'll have to do this in on the legs and on the fingers and all. Takes a bit of time. So spend a bit of time drawing the right direction. And yeah, I will have a broad strokes here. Okay. So now you have this. So we'll come out of the draw vectors, come back here. You can go under up vector, and you can see now these are directing. Feels like there's something controlling it, and that's because of the curves that we just drew. Now in here, up vector blur iteration, you can control how much it blur. See how much it gets integrated or it blends with the rest of the generated or automatically generated direction. So the eyes, we might need to have a different direction because it's not flowing properly. So I will go back there. What I want is this to flare up like that. This one is fine. Yeah, something like that. Even here, something like that. Maybe I just delete this off and draw it properly, something like that. And from the center, it comes out, flare out like that. Okay, so that should be good enough. We'll come out of it and check our vector again, and you can see I think it's fine. I will change the vector iteration to maybe 1000 so that it's a bit more smooth. Yeah, I think it should work fine. All right, now you don't have to generate the scales to see how this is coming out. So basically, maybe you can go into scales below, which give you a rough representation of how it's flowing out. So you can see how it is angled out, it's flowing out. It's, all right, I have a small bug here, so I will have to update that. But otherwise, you can see it's all flowing out, and this is what we actually want. And this is a bug where you see these big scales. Actually, that should be hidden, and you should be able to see the painted scales behind. Okay, that will be fixed. Okay, so this is a quick way to see or evaluate your scales. Now, let's say you want to control the size of the scales. So that is where you can go into global controls, and you can change the P scale max to something bigger. Let's say go for 2. So you have bigger scales. See, they are overlap. Now, sometimes you will want these scales, individual scales, to bend up. So we have controls for all those in here. So let's say you want the scale bend. You can use the this ramp or curve ramp to adjust that. So you can maybe bend it. You can see that in the report. Oh, you don't want too much, but maybe slightly to avoid if there are quite a bit of intersections. You can fix it that way with the global control. So this is how it looks in a lower view. And mind you, I have adjusted P-scale max. P-scale min doesn't do much, so it should be kept 1. And what else? Yeah. These settings you can leave it at as is unless our final output is bit. If the scale is maintained, they all should work fine. Yeah, so we'll do a quick generate of this mesh and see how that's coming out. All right, so let's generate maybe 3 so that we can compare. Generate that and switch it back to gen scale so that we can see the output. All right, so the calculation took around a minute, and we will switch to gen scales to see how that has come out. So give it a couple of seconds to load. So that's how it looks with the direction. And There is some overlap. I need to fix those. Or check the paint actually. This might be because of the paint, missing areas. And there are some height differences that we need to fix. And you can see these small things, those needs cleanup, basically in the paint. So this is how it is. And some of the faces are missing in the group that I need to add back in. We will look into IDs, how you can add different types of scales, which will be very interesting. Cool. Uh, See you in the next video then. Thank you.